Hi, Germ.
Hi, Spore.
Welcome back to
wait.
BoredHouse.
Oh,
What happened?
I have to get my phone just in case.
Oh,
Yeah,
just in case what?
just in case I get a call for work.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Look at that.
I see what you did there. For a second, I thought you were just unprepared for the thing we'd been preparing for the last hour. Somehow.
Yeah.
And instead, it was just a clever intro to today's subject, which
it's
is
true.
employment or the lack thereof.
Definitely a lack thereof on my behalf.
You want to talk about that? You want to talk about that a little bit?
Well,
A lot of things have changed. It's been a while.
I think
A lot of things have changed since the. Actually, funny enough, we posted the last episode of the podcast, and then almost like in just like a very fast series of events following that, you became unemployed.
kind of. I would say it took a few weeks, honestly, but the career ended almost as the pandemic was starting to end, which is really funny because
Which pandemic? The COVID-19 one?
yeah, you remember when we were coming out of it, like,
We're in a different pandemic now.
right, yeah, like literally
We're in the Delta pandemic now. It's a different pandemic. Different year, same thing.
It's literally like almost even at the same time. It's horrifying, honestly.
It is.
But yeah, basically, I just quit because there was a lot of like stuff that was supposed to happen or that didn't happen.
They were gonna fire you.
Yeah,
and
they were gonna fire me.
Which is a better thing. Gamers at home. Here's a tech tip, all right? A little life tip for you. If you know you're gonna get fired, quit instead. Yes, you won't get severance, right? But it won't go on your record as being fired from a job.
True.
It will be that you left on your own accord. Now, if you're gonna get laid off, then you get your severance, right? Because that's
Yeah.
not your choice. It's not because of something you did. But if you're getting fired because for whatever reason, okay, it could be bad, could be whatever.
Yeah.
But if the severance ain't that much, if you only had like one PTO day left and that would be your severance, is reimbursement for 1 day's pay, just quit the day before they're gonna fire you, like Germ did, because now it's not on your record.
Yeah.
And that is way more important than
I mean, I will
minuscule
say
severance pay.
it's much harder to get unemployment that way, which is really annoying. I don't think you should have to fight for something you've been paying into for years, whether you want to or not. Like,
Yeah.
if people are quitting their job, it's probably not because they want to. But right now, especially with like all the COVID stuff, I feel like it's harder to get unemployment, and it's ending pretty soon. Like next week, I think it's supposed to end, where they give them extra benefits or whatever for COVID related reasons, which is weird. Seeing as
I
it seems like
exhausted
we're
my
starting
benefits back when I
Yes,
was.
so did I.
I exhausted it entirely. So what, did they add more?
Well, that's what I was like. That's what one of the reasons I put in the reason that I quit, because when the pandemic was going on, they were like, "Oh, we're gonna give you guys like 2 days from us, like from the company, right?"
Mm-hmm.
Even though, like, I think it happened 3 times where I had to get tested for COVID, and 2 of those times was because directly of the company and their like really relaxed policies on people going on vacation out of state and then coming right back to work, like with 0 quarantine. Because I don't know if you remember, Spore, but the second time it happened, my main manager, one of the main managers there, he actually went to Wisconsin and he tested positive for COVID, but he was asymptomatic. And the other guy who had gone on vacation to Texas had also come back sick with COVID. He was not asymptomatic, and we could all tell he was really sick. And both of them had tested positive for COVID, and they sent us to get tested like literally that day from work. Well, they wanted to wait, but I left work and I was like, I'm gonna go get tested. Like, fuck you guys. Right? Because if you're sick, obviously it doesn't matter at that point. But if you're not, why would you stay there longer with these people who are already exposed to it,
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make any sense. And that was like one of the reasons that I put that I quit, and that they took our vacation days, like when I was waiting for my test results, right? Because of their stupid inability to keep people at home because they didn't want them to miss work. I had to use my vacation days to get paid those days that I was in quarantine.
That's not fair.
It's not, but I mean, that's how that company was run. And I mean, I can't really do anything about it, right? And I had brought up those things countless times with my managers about, oh, when am I getting more vacation? Like, I've been here for almost 6 years and I still only have 10 days and 5 sick/personal, because your sick and personal are bundled together, you know?
Yeah.
And I had already run out of sick days because we had already been in quarantine again. Like, that was the second time, so I didn't have any more sick days.
Jeez.
Yeah. And then this year, I mean, I had already used up most of my sick days, but I think 2 of them were because of COVID and I wanted money. Like, I didn't want to not have it, and they didn't give us benefits again, right? The benefits didn't reset this year for COVID. So then remember, I got my ear infection and I actually had to go to the doctor and treatment and get help, and I didn't have any more sick days by that point because I had used them.
You get ear infections a lot.
Yeah, that's another issue that I have, where my ears just do not agree with my body. But funnily enough, last year I didn't get an ear infection.
I wonder why that is.
Yeah, I wonder why. Maybe it's because I didn't go out, and
yeah, maybe.
I don't know. Most of the time,
I don't know anything about that stuff.
Yeah, my doctor told me,
I went to
like,
art
do
school.
You swim a lot? I'm like, no. And I was swimming last year, which was funny.
But so tell everyone the story of how it actually went down. Like, you found out the day before you were gonna get fired.
The day before, yeah.
One of your managers told you, "Hey, they're gonna fire you tomorrow."
He said,
right?
Like, I have the text message still. He was like, "Dude, I think you're getting fired tomorrow." And I asked him, like, "Oh, like, I'm gonna be 100% honest. I had checked out of this job long ago for very frustrating reasons. Like, the COVID stuff was big. I was burnt out. I was tired of trying. Felt like they didn't respect any of us. They treated us like we were stupid. It was just really, at that point I had given up. And I told my sister this, but Sport, I don't know if I ever told you, I had not done work for the last, I think, 2 weeks, because I don't know, I felt like something was wrong, right? Like, you know, when you have that gut feeling, like that intuition.
Yeah, I had that when the morning that they laid me off from my first full-time job.
But you remember probably, like, oh, this is like,
I remember walking into the meeting room with everyone else, and I remember whispering to the person knows who they are, but I remember whispering, I was like, I think they were gonna lay us off.
Oh, fuck, dude.
And then we're in the meeting and they're like, so effective, but it's gonna be the last day for everyone. We have to let everyone go. And I was like, half of me was like, fuck, and the other half of me was like, yes, fuck yeah, I got it right.
Celebration.
Fuck yeah, ha! Take that, idiots! I told you we were getting laid off.
No.
like your obnoxiousness just completely overshadows the situation.
The fact that you literally just got fucking terminated.
Yeah, and like there's this one girl who was just crying. She was just broken to tears. And meanwhile, me internally like, yeah, fuck yeah, I told you guys. I knew it. I told you for weeks now we're gonna get laid off.
That was your coping mechanism just kicking in.
Exactly. Just being like, wait, yeah, exactly. So no, but that was funny. I don't think I've told you these stories. I've not told them on the podcast. But so at that job, my coworker and I, we were on the web team, doing all the web stuff, and so we needed to be in the daily 5 o'clock sales meetings so that we would know if they wanted to run a sale or not. Like, you know, we had to be able to pivot and iterate as quickly as they needed us to. So when you're in the 5 o'clock sales meeting, you get to hear about the sales or the lack thereof. And so for months and months, we would go to these sales meetings and all we would hear about is how many tens of thousands of dollars they were spending and how we had not sold anything at all. And I literally was thinking to myself, I'm like, there's no way this company's how can you this? There's no profit. There's
What's
no profit.
sustaining us here?
There's no profit. We have like 38 employees and there's no profit. What?
Oh no. Wait,
So-
can I ask what did you guys sell or no? Is that like
It might be a little too. It was a digital good. A digital good. I'll put it that way.
okay? Yeah.
We're selling digital goods, okay? And we didn't sell none, all right? So I remember the manager at the time, my coworker, who if he's listening, he'll remember. And for the sake of keeping it anonymous, so that way we don't reverse dox ourselves, okay? At the time, the manager, my coworker was going to take some time off. And so he was planning to take off. He was putting in to take off for the specific day that this big meeting where we were all going to get laid off in was set for. And my manager says, they always tell the managers like weeks in advance, right?
Right, obviously.
But for legal reasons, the managers are not allowed to disclose
you
that
guys,
to,
yeah.
right. So it's stupid because honestly, it would have given it's not like we're gonna go postal and shoot the place up. Okay.
Yeah.
It gives us like two or 3 weeks more time to find a new job. It's a big deal. But anyway, the manager at the time looks at my coworker and goes, "You're not gonna want to miss that meeting."
Oh, no.
Looks him right in the face and like makes a facial expression like, "Definitely not gonna want to miss that meeting." If you
don't wanna
understand what I'm
be
trying to
there.
say. And I was literally like, my coworker tells me the story and I'm like, oh yeah, we're getting laid off.
It's over.
It's over.
Where's
So
your-
that
where
was
does your
a weird
optimism
feeling
go?
though.
Like,
It was,
There's no way
It's a
you're
weird feeling.
optimistic after someone tells you that.
well, I wasn't optimistic for months because
Yeah.
I saw the sales. I knew what we weren't making and what we
Was-
were spending.
Was anybody else like?
They were people who were delusional. Like they were just deniers. Like they would be in denial that we were going to be sinking. And, all I did was in that time, I took the time I had at work and I made the best of it.
Yeah.
I made some friends, that coworker, especially, a really good friend. And I took the time to increase my own abilities, right? Like I would just sit there and practice coding all day.
Oh yeah, that's smart.
Most of the time it had nothing to do with the actual job.
Yeah, because what are
and
they gonna do?
then-
Fire you?
Well, who else is going to do my job? Nobody else. I literally came in there and they were in a situation where they needed somebody to
Yeah.
fix all the problems they were having.
I
And they
see.
were just using somebody else. They were repurposing somebody else, like from a different department who just happens to have some web skills. And she was like, I need to be doing my job. I can't be doing this all the time. So they brought me in. But it was more like by bettering myself, my excuse was by taking the time to better myself, I can do more for the company. Right?
I mean, not at
But
that
really-
time, right?
Well, I mean, at any point during the time I was working for them, I had this mindset. If I'm working on something, they're like, are you working on something for here, or is that a personal thing? I'm like, I would tell them, no, it's a personal thing, but I'm working on, I'm learning a new way of doing something. It's gonna help us out. I would just always give them that excuse.
Right.
Because I did that, because it actually did help us with a lot of the stuff we were doing. But really, it helped me get the job I have now, which is a much better job.
Right.
So, that being said,
You've
as
told me
of
that
late,
before.
it's got its ups and its downs. But
Yeah, you want to talk about that sport, huh?
did I talk about it?
I think you should. Sport has this really. I'm gonna say this. Sport has this like really enthusiastic work personality. He's like very driven, but sometimes it's like to his detriment because
Uh-oh.
yeah, he'll do things and he does them very well, but sometimes he'll like put too much on his plate, like for sure 100%. And that
Me at the
includes
buffet.
yeah, that includes personal projects too. Like, but I promise you, if
That
you ever
includes
hire
food.
Sport, the quality of work you're gonna get is like pretty decent. It's okay.
Pretty decent. Oh my god. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's not bad.
Yeah, it's all right.
I mean, I'll tell you what is it good? Well, I'll tell you what it's not. It's not bad.
Not bad. Yeah,
Not bad.
perfect. There you go. Descriptor.
I do have a tendency to do that. right now it's been really tough because I'm trying to save for a house. So, and I don't really know when the market's gonna crash. So it's been like pushing myself. Like you can't turn down any opportunity to work freelance, contract, none of it, because if you know, like
it's money.
It's money is money, and you know, opportunity is gonna come up, and if I don't have what I need to be able to strike, I'm gonna miss out. You know what I mean? But it's really tough.
I mean, money is obviously the motivating factor most of the time.
The house is the motivating factor most of the time. When I'm sitting here working and I can hear my neighbors playing cold beer on a Friday night, that's when I'm like, you know what? I really want a house, so I don't have to hear this shit anymore.
You know what's funny?
That's the motivator.
That I was seeing that most of the places, some of the states that people left the most, right? Illinois was one of them, first of all. Like because of COVID or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't remember the other like 5, but it was in the top 5. And the state that was most traveled into was like Florida.
Yeah.
But
it's really
I
unfortunate.
think some of the numbers are just like old people going to their summer home or something. I don't know. I feel like that's the reason, right?
I don't know. I think there's a combination of things. It might be political. It might be climate related. I don't know. All I know is if you're planning to move to Florida, don't do that. Go away.
Everything's like up 20%.
Get the fuck out of my state.
They were
Leave
saying,
me alone.
like property wise.
Well, we don't have state income tax for now, which is great. So you can make a little bit more. But also like in places with like certain places, like let's say you lived in New York, like in the city you'll make more, but everything's more expensive and you pay state income tax. So it ends up being about probably just like ever so slightly less than what you'd make in Florida, because you make more, but you pay more, right? Here you make a little bit less, but you pay less. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But also the thing is, in some cases you don't make less in Florida. A lot of cases you'll find you don't make less, and so you end up making a lot more here because of the lack of state income tax, which is pretty awesome. That's why a lot of people move to Florida. Like a lot of businesses relocate to Florida because of it's just more lucrative for them. But anyway, back to my job. So recently, for the last couple of years, I've been in this position, and it's kind of been like really, for me, it's been kind of fulfilling, right? I know it's a job, and it's like, yeah, you have to do the job, right? Because you have to make money to pay bills. But like, I actually kind of enjoy it, because it's something I've always wanted to do, and it's kind of a challenge. And they've given me a specific task. I'm not gonna be too specific because I don't want to dox myself.
Yeah.
They've given me a specific task to work on a specific project that has been like a dream of mine, to be able to work on a project like that. And when I was applying for this job, I applied for a completely different position, which I got. And then the day after my interview, they called up and said, "You got that position, but would you be okay with doing this?" And this was the thing that I couldn't find a single position for, that I never dreamed I would ever get into. Not that quickly.
So basically,
and so
this new job offered you a job that you've always wanted.
That barely ever comes up on the market. Yeah. And if it does, it's just impossible. Like, you're battling against people who, it's just impossible. So I was basically handed just like the luckiest person. You know what I mean? I'm just very lucky. So I've been working on this project, no problem, for like 3 years. No problem. All by myself, the only one who works on it. And I've gotten better over the years. Like, my stuff is really good. Okay. But as of late, we have these people, those traffic coordinators, and they basically take the jobs coming in and then they assign them to designers and stuff. Okay. It's a whole new thing. We've only been doing this for a last couple of months.
Basically, it's somebody that like tells you what you should be doing and what you will be doing. They want you to be doing.
And so partially my fault, partially the fault of the people around me, but somehow, in some way, things started to pile up. And before you knew it, I had like 6 jobs at the same time. And like, it was overwhelming. Like, there was no way I was going to be able to work on these tasks for this project that I had been working on for like, for that specific project for like 3 years, right? There was no way I could devote my time to that and also take care of these other projects that I was assigned that had nothing to do with that.
Yeah, and you don't have a choice when like you're looking at these, right? Like they don't ask you, hey, do you want these? Basically,
No.
like, you're gonna do this.
Yes, they just assume. And the other thing is they assume that you'll have downtime on your projects, that they can assign you multiple projects at the same time, and that you'll be able to work on this other project when you're waiting for answers on this project, as if you get any downtime. But that doesn't apply to me with the specific special project that I work on that nobody else works on. So my work, my process, my workflow, the people I talk with, how we work, like what I do is completely different from anybody else on my team. Completely different. And I barely talk to anybody on my team. I only talk to the people on in a different team that I do design work for from my team. So it's like this blanket. Anyway, the point is that the traffic coordinator decided to suggest that I might not be able to handle working on this project all by myself. We should get another designer for that. Which actually, like, literally, I had a breakdown. Like, I had like a mental breakdown from that. That bothered me so bad. Because that same person's the one who assigned me all of the unnecessary work that any other designer could have been put on, so that I could have had the time to work on the project I had already been assigned to for 3 years. And now they're suggesting that any other designer could work on that project. Like, the thing I do doesn't take effort and doesn't take a special knowledge.
They dig their own grave, right?
Ooh.
I mean, it's your managers and stuff.
The traffic coordinators?
Yeah.
They're just trying to appease the gods.
That doesn't make any sense, though, because, like, you're working on this thing.
Well, faster things, so we have more work than we can handle right now as a company. And we can't find people to fill these positions fast enough, or even at all. And so I'm not the only one. I've talked to other people in other departments who tell me they're just as overwhelmed, and that they're actually brings them comfort to know that someone else like me actually is feeling the same way about stuff, that they give you so much work that you feel you're overwhelmed, and you feel like the fact that you're not able to get it all done, like that you're actually like an incompetent designer, because there's so much to get done that it doesn't feel like you're getting anything done. And so it's just like you're constantly asking for them to push back these due dates, and it just makes you look bad. It makes you look like an incompetent designer. It makes you feel like an incompetent designer, because all you're doing is not getting it done on time. It's just these people are setting unreasonable deadlines and giving you too much work, more work than one person can easily handle, you know?
Yeah.
So anyway, the point is, well, I solved my situation for now, I think. I basically went and I ripped new assholes to every single person who aided in that situation being what it was. The people who helped that pot finally boil over, you know, I went after them all. But it was also my fault, because it was happening and I ignored it. I should have seen it, and I should have acknowledged it, and I should have handled it sooner.
It's just, it's really weird that they're taking like workers, right? Like invested in something like your project.
Yeah.
And instead of like trying to fast track that,
yeah,
they put you on other stuff, and then they try to hire someone else to do the job you were already doing. Like, that's so weird to me.
No, it is weird, and it is wrong. And the other thing is, like, treating what I do as if it's not a specialty thing, and as if any other designer in the department could just do it. That's not true. I mean, yeah, any designer can like learn how to do it, but I've been working on this thing for 3 years, and it's very intricate, and it's very labor intensive, and there's a lot of personalities involved. What?
You just have pride in your work.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and I have pride in my work, but it's you know, it takes a certain level of skill to be able to do what I do. You can't just do it. You know what I mean? You have to know what you're doing.
I guess I've never really, like, ever since I've started to want to do design, right?
Yeah.
I have never gone into it with the mindset, well, no one can do what I do, because I know there are. like, to me, it's really, I think I told you this, how what I used to want to do was, I don't know, like photo manipulation or web design. And when I took those classes, I was learning HTML and CS5. Like, the teacher I had didn't believe in the self-building programs, and she was teaching it to us, from the ground up, like literally hand coding. She's like, this is how you find problems in the future. And I'm like, okay, this is not good, because I know that in the future we're probably just going to be using those things that she doesn't want to use, right?
Yeah.
And look at that. Literally, you're in the industry, and that's exactly what you guys, like, obviously knowing the code helps you a lot, because I've seen the work you do.
Yeah.
But
of course, yeah.
At the end of the day, if I really wanted to, if I had learned, those self-building programs, I probably could be working, in that kind of job already. But
yeah,
same thing with photo manipulation, where when I got into design, it was such a like niche thing to want to do. But then it just grew, and everybody's able to do it now because everyone has access. But people who stand out are the people who can do it well. Like, now that's the new standard, right? People who are like really, really good at it. And I don't know, I think that's kind of where you fall under, right?
That's the problem, right? So at my job, there was their suggestion that anybody could just do it, and it's not just that. Because obviously, like, I was very insecure when they brought that up. So I literally said, not to sound too insecure, but I don't think that it's going to save any time if you bring another designer on and you have to spend the time training them how to do what I already know how to do. It's going to be the exact same amount of time. But then their argument is, well, if we train them, then they'll always be available to just work on this stuff. But that's not the point. The point is that they gave me too much work that had nothing to do with the thing that I should have been working on, that kept me from working on that thing that they now were suggesting that somebody else should be able to work on, when that same someone else could have just worked on the thing I was forced to work on from the beginning. You know what I mean? And there's like this lack of value for someone specializing in something. It's like, I agree. Like, I believe in, like, all hands on deck, like there's lots of work and more work than we know what to do with. If you can chip in, you should be able to help out, take on some other projects. But that doesn't mean reassign the projects I already had. Then just if you have to reassign my projects because like I'm not going to be repurposed, and I'm not going to be treated like a design bot, like just some Fiverr fucking artist who you can just say, oh, hey, can you just do this now? Yes, I can do that, but I'm not going to do that because I'm doing this. That's where I feel like I need to be valued as an employee. Because I've dedicated myself to doing this specific project that I've been on for 3 years and doing it damn well. And I deserve the respect to not even have it be uttered the words, maybe we should put another designer on this.
Yeah, but
the fact that, I told my boss in like a 4-paragraph message how upset this made me. The fact that it would even be considered, would even come up as a suggestion, was just unbelievable to me. So, it is what it is. It's the thing is, you can never get too comfortable, Gurm. Because there's always going to be somebody out there to fuck you. That's just this is how it goes, unfortunately.
I mean, I guess that's the big difference between you and me. I would never want to be in a place where you're treated like that. Especially like big corporations where old people work, because that's how my old job was. Old people were the ones in charge. Then guess what? They're the ones that are fucking just making the worst possible decisions, because they just make decisions on the stuff they know instead of learning new things. And
absolutely,
I feel like the only reason you were feeling the effects now as opposed to later was because even though your middle management isn't like a bunch of boomers, it started trickling down because, like you said, you guys are running out of people.
Exactly.
And I've told you that before. Right, but like, less people, more hats. Yeah. And I told you that once, and you were really confused. But that's what companies do, and it's always happened in factories. So I guess that's why I have like that perspective on it. Because in a factory, if somebody quits, they don't bring someone else to do their job. They'll like try to get other people there. I was like, oh, you guys can just split it. Like, our fucking quota is 500 fan blades. It's like, oh, it was 5 of you, now there's 4 of you, so figure out the math and then just make up for the fan blades. And they don't bring you another person because you do figure it out, because you don't have a choice. Like,
yeah,
I don't know that, and that's why I don't have loyalties when it comes to work. Like you, like I don't care. I will never be like, yeah, I owe this company so much. These people are doing so much for me. Like, I can admit that a company, has given me opportunities and stuff, but no, dude, like I can't do it.
I don't have no. So that's okay. I think you have a miss. First of all, I just want to say that that's the first time that's ever happened in 3 years.
Yeah, but again, to me, it's because, like you said, you have pride in your work and what you do, and that it was, like you said, it was unreasonable for them to do that, to even consider a different designer. But if you didn't care at all, it wouldn't have mattered, because you would have just been like, whatever, I don't care. Like, if that had been me.
But that's the thing. It's not about.
I would have just been like, fuck it. Like, give me whatever you want and just take that off my plate and call it a day.
No, yeah. But for me, the thing is, like, I don't know anything to the company. I mean, well, first, I do appreciate that they gave me the opportunity to work on this.
Yeah.
As a project. But for me, it's more about this project's not finished yet, and I have to finish it. I have to see it finished. I have to get it to the point where I'm happy with it, and I'm not there yet. We're getting close, but like, I can't just not work. It's why I didn't look for new employment during the furlough, because I really want to see this finished.
I mean, that's loyalty.
It's more about me and the project, less about me and the company.
Right, but that's still loyalty, because, like, I'm not trying to say that what you do isn't valuable or like it's not important because it's not yours, right? But at the end of the day, that stuff that you're working on doesn't belong to you. It belongs to the company.
But it is my work.
Right, but
that's the thing.
Like,
and if it's not
right?
finished, well,
like if
it's a representation
you quit today,
of me.
Could you take that with you? Is what I'm asking.
Yeah, absolutely. I could absolutely take those screenshots and comps and all
but
the work.
But that's not what I'm saying. Like, you could take it, but it's their stuff. Like, they asked you, hey, we need that. Would you not have to leave it with them because that's there?
No, I have the right to show my work.
Right, but that's their like anything you've worked on, it's basically the company's, is it not? Like, can't they just...
Yeah, but that's the... No, but it's the proof that I know how to do what I'm doing.
Yeah, but that's not what I'm saying.
That allows me to
like,
get a better job.
I'm taking it to
I don't care. No. I don't care. I don't care. I have no need for, what this project is. I have no need of my own version of that, okay? So I don't care. It doesn't matter to me.
Right, but that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, like, you say, oh, I have to finish this. I'm loyal to the work that I'm doing. But to me...
Loyal is the wrong word, dude.
Company,
loyal is the wrong word. If somebody tomorrow came along and offered me twice, or even like 20% more than what I'm making right now to do something similar, I'd fucking take it in a heartbeat. Bye-bye. I'd move. Like, I'm not loyal to shit.
That's to your advantage, right?
Yeah. Like, so is completing the project. Completing the project's to my advantage.
Yeah, but it's different when you don't have a hypothetical telling you, hey, I'm going to give you more. Most people don't. It's not really the reality, right?
Well, I'm not going to get that reality either. Nobody's going to seek me out for that.
You never know, but I'm just saying, like, I feel like you take work very personally sometimes, and I don't get it. I don't get that at all. It's just, I like your work ethic. I like your work ethic, and I like the work that you do because it's always really good quality. But, like, I've told you this a million times. I don't understand how people could, like, care so much about something. I guess even if you're pouring a bunch of hours into it, that's not yours at the end of the day. Like, if I'm working on something, I'm gonna give it my all, right? If I'm let's say I was in a job like yours, right? I'd be like you, like, I'd give it my all, but I'd never get passionate enough, I guess, to be like, let me not go find work over here, or let me, fight for them keeping me on this project. Like, I would just move it along, next thing, let's go, whatever. Like,
yeah,
if the company's gonna make a mistake, I'm not gonna be sitting there and try to fix it for them.
Yeah, but I have bills to pay, and at least what I'm doing right now I enjoy doing. So
Yeah,
the minute that
I
they
guess
take
that's
that away
true.
from me, it's no longer enjoyable. Now I've lost a certain level of enjoyment or satisfaction in the thing that I'm doing.
Yeah.
And now it's harder for me to want to work.
That's a
because
good reason.
It's not stuff I want to do. So that's the thing is, in order for me to be able to ensure that I will continue to be able to keep doing this type of work, whether for this company or any other company, this project needs to be finished so that I have a proof of my abilities to be able to go to another company and say, hey, I can do this. This is what I did. And then I don't want to show them some half-assed thing that's not finished because I never finished it. Be like,
Right,
oh yeah, I did that, but only these specific pages. You know what I mean?
Right,
That doesn't fly.
I was about to say, like, that's another example, because I don't want to get too specific, but like, you literally told me about how there's a situation going on right now where you're probably going to do something and then not get credit for it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, and then you're just like, oh, well, it's part of the job, right? And you'll eat that bullet and you're like, whatever. Can't you just, at the end of the day, when you quit, be like,
we resolved it. We resolved it.
But let's say it hadn't worked out, right? Like I said, you were gonna bite the bullet on that. You told me so. You told me you were just gonna like fuck it, right?
Yeah.
But let's say at the end of the day, it didn't end like that, and you do go try to look for other work, right? Couldn't you just say, hey, I worked on this? And even if they don't ask you, like, I figure most places wouldn't ask you specifically what. You know what I mean? Like, they wouldn't be like, which asset? Point it out right now. Which one did you make? Like, you wouldn't say that, right? They wouldn't ask you that.
They pull out the yearbook. They're like, which one? Which one is you? Point right now.
Yeah.
Is it you?
Like,
is this you? How about this one with the glasses? Is that you?
I don't know, man. Like, to me, especially in design or anything with art, unless you're working for like a small company or like a video game, I feel like even in video games, I guess most people really wouldn't care. Like, they just want to know that you have an idea of how it's done, what you need to do.
That's where you're completely wrong, bud. I hate to break it to you, but anytime I've ever taken on a freelance website job, they're always like, can you send me some websites you've built?
But yeah, that's a small, like I said.
Anytime I do motion graphics
it's a small job, I'm not talking about small jobs. Like, I literally just said,
big jobs
independent
too. They
jobs, small little jobs.
Okay, well, also here's the thing. At a certain point,
because those are what do you call it? Tailored. Like, I've seen the work you do for specific clients, and that's tailored work. That's really nice, good stuff. That's something you can point at though and say, hey, that's mine. I made this whole thing. That's different. I'm talking about company work, where
at a certain point you're right.
The stuff.
You're right. You're right. At a certain point in this industry, it becomes more about what's on your resume than what's in your portfolio.
Yeah.
Oh, you worked for blah blah blah, and you worked for blah blah blah, and you were this at blah. What? Okay. That's all that matters.
Right, like every
and
job,
just be very professional and polite.
Yeah, every job will eventually
just
rely on your title, right? At the end of the day, if you're trying to move up.
That's true.
Like,
it's true. Like, cause a lot of times I meet people who are like, and you got this job, and they're like, and I'm like, how? You know, like sometimes there's people high up, and you're like, how the fuck?
I don't know.
But it's just because they got like a creative director position somewhere. But it was like some rinky-dink little company, and because they were a creative director here, now they can be a creative director there somehow.
What's the name?
I'm thinking about starting a new company, calling myself a creative director, and then just saying that I was a creative director for like 4 years, and then just trying to go for a creative director position somewhere. You know what I mean?
I mean, it could work.
It probably will work.
It was like that. There was a journalist who did basically like this whole thing of, I don't remember what it was, but basically they were like, I can make myself famous by the end of a year, literally just by like writing fake articles and saying that they were.
I think I saw what you're talking about.
I don't know if it was a celebrity, but definitely like a trusted news source. I've never had a professional, like I call it a professional job, what you have, right? Because to me, that's what it is. Like, it's a career.
It's a corporate job.
I've never had that kind of
corporate.
job.
No, just call it. It's corporate. It's a corporate
Most
job.
of the jobs, like literally every job I've gone from working in a factory to manual labor cleaning to food, and then to finally the last job I had, which was cashier reception kind of thing, where I just paid people, answered phones, emails. I had to learn pricing for certain things daily, which was annoying as well, and dealing with people face to face, right? Like, that was the best job I had in terms of comfort, because I didn't have to do almost anything, manual labor intensive, right?
No, yeah. You used to be on Discord all day and stuff.
Yeah,
Like you'd be
literally,
able to,
like
yeah.
when I was working, I would just be in Discord because my computer was like facing away from the cameras because I had a camera in my office.
Oh my god, that's awful. If I had a camera in my office, I'd fucking kill myself.
Literally, one time I overpaid a customer like $300, and the guy, I don't know what he is. He's basically my boss's boss. He pulled up like the exact time, and you could hear my audio of me over counting the $300. Like I was like, oh, crazy! Like that shit was wild.
Yeah. I hate that. That's so.
It's weird, right?
I don't like
it's weird.
that.
But
it shows a lack of trust and respect for the employees.
Well, they were like, oh, it's in case you get robbed. Don't mention the cameras to like people. I'm like,
yeah, or in case you inadvertently rob the company yourself.
Yeah, if you're like stealing money
giving the customer too much money.
Yeah, good luck figuring that out with fucking hours and hours of footage you'd have to go through.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much at that company that they did wrong and this is the thing that I tell you that it's frustrating when I bring it up to management and they just wouldn't go anywhere with it. And if I went over their heads like I did a few times for certain things, they'd get pissed.
People hate when you go over their heads. I've learned not to do that.
I mean, that's why I stopped caring at all.
The hard way.
Anything there. Because I'm like, you know what? Like, this is all political. Work is literally all politics. Like, that job taught me that.
Mm-hmm.
It's horrible.
Like look at my job. Like, the boomers, these dinosaur boomers on top, they wanted everybody to come back to work September 7th.
Mm-hmm.
Coming in, and our whole company consolidated down to one building from like 3 or 4 buildings. And there's literally not enough cubicles for everybody. So we're going to go back in, even though there's still a pandemic, people who have been vaccinated are still getting Delta. It's like, it's still bad.
Yeah, it is.
And I've got asthma. I ain't going in that fucking shit. So, but they're like, oh, everybody, we're going back September 7th. And we're going to have a rotating schedule, 2 days a week. You're in the office. And then 2 days a week, you share cubicles. So like, you got to share a cubicle. So like, Monday I would have the cubicle, and then Tuesday you'd have the cubicle, and then Wednesday I'd have the cubicle again, and then Thursday you'd have the cubicle, and then I don't know who has it on Friday, because I don't know, I don't even fucking, it's so dumb. And then Delta flares up, right? And then the little email comes out, maybe we were a little hasty on the September 7th, pushing it to October 7th. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, guys, there's the idea that work from home is less productive, which is false. I actually work longer hours. Germ, you can attribute, what's the word?
Attest.
You can attest to this. Like you've been on Discord calls with me where I've been working like 6 hours past 5 o'clock, just on shit. And I do it all the time. And it's just unfair for them to take away work from home when it works so well, just because they have this boomer mentality that we have to be back in the office. That's the stuff I don't understand. It's like, if people would be more willing to work and happier working because they're more comfortable, why wouldn't you want that? Why do you want them to be uncomfortable? Why do you want them to have to wear specific clothes and wake up at a specific time so they can spend the money that it costs to drive to a place so they can be uncomfortable in an uncomfortable desk chair under really bright, harsh lights, sitting on a computer at a desk where it's not set up to their liking because they have to share it with somebody else half the week, right? And I'm not taking it with the monitors, and I'm not taking
too.
And then I've got my own bathroom here. You know what I mean? I used to drive home to take a shit, Garm. I'm serious.
The home bowl. It's comfort.
I hate public bathrooms. I fucking hate them. I refuse to shit in a public bathroom. It's not happening. I'm just not going to. It's fucking gross. Especially like men's bathrooms are like, men are gross. They've like, it's fucking, and people would go and take a piss at the urinal, and then they'd use their hand and hit the plunger, and they walk out the bathroom.
Well,
just gonna go, just done, just walking out. And the response, well, I know where my dick's been. Yeah? So everybody else has to touch your dick too?
I mean, I don't know. That's kind of a plus. a little touchy, please.
Can I just touch the tip? Just a little touch.
Touch the tip. Oh,
when's the last time you washed this baby?
Some of your coworkers, like, you've touched their cock and you just...
definitely
Yeah.
have by
definitely.
by like 6 degrees of separation. I've absolutely touched everybody in that building's cock.
Absolutely.
Really disturbs me. And that I started, after I noticed people, like I started like hand sanitizing after using every door in that building long before COVID. I was like, fuck this. I bought my own hand sanitizer, bring it in. I'm like, I'm not a super germaphobe, but like, I don't want to get sick. And when I get sick, I get really sick.
Pretty germaphobe.
I'm pretty germaphobe. Yeah. But I'm not like one of those crazy germaphobes, you know, where they're like, I can't get clean. You know, I'm not one of those.
I literally cleaned. I think I cleaned toilets for like a month while my mom was on vacation. I took over her. She's like the cleaning
for your
lady.
family. Yeah. I remember you telling me how gross
Yeah.
your siblings are. It's fucking.
I mean, my
gross.
siblings are disgusting, first of all, but like I cleaned their bathroom one time for them.
Let's get that on the record.
Yeah, like men are gross. I'm so sorry. I'm a man, but I like
No,
clean
me too. I
space.
think men are gross. I think they're just. It's like nobody ever said just because you're a man you have to be a fucking disgusting pig in the bathroom and like leave your shit smeared on the fucking wall like some kind of mark that this is your territory. I shit here. I shat here, and I will shunt here. What's the future tense? I shit here is current. I shat here is past. I will shit again.
I will shit again. Yeah.
I will shit again.
It's like some weird ooga booga mentality that comes over certain people when they enter a bathroom. Like, nothing changes in there. It's the same world that you're living in, buddy.
Like they walk in the bathroom, just rip the fattest fart. They're like, oh, just grunt with it.
Get to the toilet at least.
Can you talk about how you felt after you lost your job? That you didn't actually feel bad or worried, that you actually felt relieved.
That's the funny thing. Like, that's why I was saying, I think literally where I left off of how for 2 weeks I hadn't done anything already because I had that gut feeling of something wasn't right.
Yeah.
I was also getting a bunch of other stuff ready where I was like, I wasn't doing work and I also wasn't putting in effort. And I had talked to my manager already about like, I had already used all my vacation days, but basically when he told me, oh, you're probably gonna get fired tomorrow, I was like, party, like whatever, just bring me my charger, which he hasn't brought me my charger. I'm upset about that. Yeah, but
fuck,
I don't know.
It was a nice charger.
It wasn't a relief. I wasn't upset. I wasn't angry. I was just like, whatever. Like I expected it because I got sick. Did I ever tell you like, I got the ear infection right on Wednesday. Then that Wednesday I went to the doctor and they gave me my Ciprodex drops, and like the ear infection was so bad that they gave me the Ciprodex drops and the amoxicillin because they didn't know if it was an internal or external ear infection. She couldn't see. It was that like swollen and there was so much pus coming out that she just couldn't see. Yeah,
that's terrible.
So like it's not like I was faking it, but
no.
Because I didn't have sick or personal days, I had to go in the next day starting at 8 a.m. So I wake up at 6, feeling horrible. Go in, stay until 10, finally tell my manager, okay, I'm going to leave. Like, that's all I can do. Yeah, I tell him, like, that's all I can do, right? Like, 10 a.m. And then the same thing on Friday. I go in, stay until, like, 11 that day because I guess I tried a little harder or something. I still didn't feel too good, but I had already started taking my Ciprodex drops. And then third day, like, I felt better, but I was still sleeping in like crazy. So on Saturday, I overslept by like 4 hours for work, and I just didn't call in. Like I didn't bother because I'm like, whatever. I don't have sick personal days. No one's in the office. Like it doesn't matter, right? There's no reason. Like they know I'm sick, so obviously that's why I overslept.
Yeah.
Like what are you supposed to say, right? Like there's nothing you can really excuse yourself with other than the stuff that they already know is happening.
Yeah. But I mean, you felt relieved when you left, and you were telling me how happy you were. I was like, you called me up and you're like, I think I'm going to lose my job. And I'm like, oh no. And you're like, actually, I'm kind of happy about it.
I mean, yeah, because it's not, it's
like
not
normally
that I don't
normally people aren't happy when they lose their job.
Look, Sport knows me. He knows I don't hate working. I got my mom's work ethic. Lucky for fucking me. Like my brother is lazy as fuck. That kid hates work. He doesn't want to do it. I don't hate work. I like if you hire me, I promise you I will do the best possible job I can do for you, as long as you are a decent human. Like,
Yes. Yeah. No, absolutely.
right. Like, after a year of that company basically letting us know we were expendable, because we also got furloughed for like a month. The only reason
I remember.
the only reason they brought me back at reduced pay, by the way, because I think I was making $1,200 on unemployment. I don't know if I ever told you that.
No.
So I was making $1,200 on unemployment, which was, and that was bi-weekly, by the way, which was like $300 or $400 more than what I was making hourly at my job.
Yeah.
So I got 2 of those paychecks, like for a month, because it was bi-weekly. And then after a month, they called me, and mind you, I was the only cashier they called back, because at my location, the manager that was with the other manager, because we had 2 managers at each location, right?
Yeah.
He was so incompetent that he couldn't do my job because he couldn't read English and he couldn't work a computer, and he didn't know how the program that you like use to buy the stuff and give people their money with worked, like, at all.
So they literally robbed you of
your
unemployment.
benefits. Yeah. And
then they brought you back at reduced hours. Right?
Yep. Less than 30 hours.
But you at least did the unemployment to get the rest of your pay, right?
What do you mean?
Well, if you're at reduced hours, you can still apply for unemployment.
No, you can't, because it
Maybe
was like
not in
the
Illinois.
COVID.
You can in Florida.
It was the COVID relief thingy, like, fuck it. And she was like, "You're almost full time, but it's not." I don't.
Well, so you can apply for reimbursement for the hours you're not working, so it adds up to a full 40, but you can't get the extra COVID bonus because you're not fully unemployed.
I was getting the full COVID stuff. Like, when I was going back, she told me I was going to lose that, and I was like, if you say no, imagine if I had told her, no, I think I'm going to stay on unemployment because I'm getting almost double what you guys pay me. Like, what was going to happen, right? I was going to fucking get fired, right? So
yeah.
I went back like a month earlier than literally every other cashier. And even then, I had asked them already for hand sanitizer. We didn't have any in the office.
Jesus.
When I asked for cleaning stuff, because they didn't bring us any, they gave us fucking chlorine, like, for us to fill a bottle and then spray it ourselves or whatever, which I was fine doing. Yeah.
Just chlorine.
Yeah. I
Okay.
mean, it was whatever. They put up a fucking like window for me so people didn't stick their heads in my office anymore, which was nice. But
they could have done that before the pandemic and you would have enjoyed it.
Yeah, and I would have enjoyed it. And it was just like them disrespect after disrespect. Literally them telling us, like, at the start of the pandemic, I think I told you, Spore, they sent out an email saying people are exaggerating. Like, this isn't as bad as they say it is.
Yeah, that's probably not. That's probably a little insensitive, especially with the fact, like, and me personally, having close family friends at that time, at the very early stages of the pandemic, dying.
Yeah.
Saying it's a little overblown, blowing it out.
It's a little insensitive. At that point, Spore had told me, he was like, we're going to go into a pandemic. And I was like, I don't know about that. I know it's getting bad, but I don't know if it's.
And I was panic buying ramen, canned foods. I literally went to Publix and bought 2 entire shopping carts of food. I didn't know what it was going to be. I've never been in a pandemic before. The last time we've been in a pandemic like this was 100 years ago. Yeah. I knew it was going to be bad. I just didn't know how bad. And turns out it wasn't as bad as I anticipated. Well, as far as like trapping myself in my apartment with all the food I needed for a year. Yeah. And I had a year's worth of food, besties. I was ready.
They didn't prepare for any of that because of their incompetence.
Yeah.
They tried to downplay it to all of us, like the people who were working on site with other customers that were coming in and out, while them in the office, like literally every office person, they were on rotation schedules. So they would stagger their days, so only half of them were coming in every other day while the rest of them worked from home. Like, what the fuck is that? Like, they think we're stupid just because the majority of the people working, like, I don't want to say it's a race thing, but literally, if you're working outside of the main office, you're probably Mexican. So,
well,
yeah, like, it's a fact. And I've told you horror stories of the way that they treated the only black lady that worked there. But it's really frustrating that they look at all their employees that aren't sitting next to them and they think less of them. They think that they're idiots, and they try to like put you in another world when you're literally living in the same reality they are. Like, it was so insane to me. Yeah, and it was about money. And that was another thing. Remember when they all got that huge bonus for the like companies to give raises out?
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't do that. They did not do that. They didn't do it. They told us.
Well, it wasn't.
It's been a rough year. It was not a rough year.
We had raises. So it was to be able to pay. So it wasn't for raises. It was for payroll. To be able to pay employees while not getting any income. But the thing is, your company has to spend it, or they have to give it back.
But that's another thing. Our company.
That means they spent it.
Like, I don't mind telling you guys, I worked in a recycling place. Our industry never fucking slowed down. Maybe for a week or two, but the week that I got furloughed, because my manager was my brother-in-law. He told us everything, right?
Yeah.
The week after I got furloughed, he told me we're fucking slammed, and it didn't stop from when I got furloughed until, which was last year in like April. Like, dude, how busy? Like, I wasn't even in Discord a lot because we were just so busy all the time.
And I remember because I was furloughed, so I was able to just kind of like hang out with you all day.
Yeah. And like, obviously, when a company's busy, what does that mean? Like, it means that they're making money. And
yeah, a lot of money.
Yeah, and they try to tell you that, like, they think you're an idiot and they try to lie to you. And some people eat it up because they don't know any better, or they still believe that the company has their best interest. But yeah, like they don't.
Yeah. The crazy thing is that your company stayed open to try and make money instead of just taking the assistance from the government that every company was getting and just paying you guys to work from home and just take the time off and lockdown.
Well, like, that's the funny thing
we're paying everybody. Like, it's kind of like it only works if everyone decides to get off the system. That's the only time not taking the handout from the system actually matters. Because if 105, if let's say out of 100 businesses, 99 of them take the handout and one of them doesn't, it doesn't fucking matter. You're just stupid for not taking the handout. But if 99 of them didn't take the handout and one of them did, that makes a difference.
It does, yeah.
So to go and be like, oh, well, we don't need that, because if you're actually making enough to cover payroll, then you're not eligible for that business, that benefit, that whatever the well, I don't know what you call it. They had a name for it.
Here's the funny thing. They had a slow year the year before, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they had fired, and I'm not gonna say who they fired specifically, but I'm gonna say they fired a specific kind of person that they were hiring there. And we had a slow year the year before, I will say that.
Yeah.
But as this stuff was happening, they were, it seemed to me, trying to maximize as much as they could, wherever they could. And if that meant just letting people go,
yeah,
that's what I feel like. That's
well, the thing is that if you have a slow year, so the amount that they were willing to give to companies was based on how much you made in the previous year. So for a lot of companies, especially in construction, the previous year was really good, like really good. And so they made a shit ton of money the previous year. So the payroll, the amount they made, if they got lent, or not lent, but if they were given money from the government based on how much they made in the previous year, a lot of these companies had way more than they needed to be able to pay everybody.
Here's the thing though. I know that the company got that government assistance thing. And the reason I know is because it's a small company, right? And
yeah,
everybody who works there is like family. Like my brother-in-law, he had gotten me into the
When
job.
You're here, you're family.
Literally,
what's that? Wait,
like,
what is that place? Is that Olive Garden?
It was Olive Garden, yeah. Like,
or is it Carrabba's?
My sister was working there.
Wait, is it Carrabba's?
No, it's Olive Garden, fool.
Hold on. Wait, pause the episode. Hold on. Wait, tell your story in a second. We need to know this. When you're
it's
here.
Olive Garden. I know my fucking slogans.
They have all you can eat breadsticks, you know.
Man. It's not worth it. Don't go there for the.
Spend $15 on your actual meal, take it home, and then just sit there eating endless breadsticks and salad until you're full. And then you get a meal for later. Free meal for later. Anyway, back to what you were saying about your sister.
Yeah, no. Like my sister worked there. Literally, like half his family worked there. it was like a small little tight knit thing.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the people at the top, like the VP was married to owner's daughter and blah blah blah. The lady who did like almost all the accounting had a son who website and graphics, and it was awful. I showed sports stuff all the time because it was funny to me. They used
really
pictures,
top-notch work.
Yeah, they use pictures like from other companies, like just without permission all the time. And this is not good for you. Like, you're putting this on your website with your logo on it. You're gonna get fucking sued. But end of the day, I know that they got that thing because my brother-in-law told me they did. Because, like, he talks to the
right, yeah, because he's in management,
owner's
so he
daughter's husband.
Yeah.
Like, he's our VP, and just what's going on there. But they treat you like you have no idea what's going on there. Well, they treat it like, I'm glad I don't work there for that reason. I really like the people that I worked with, but I hated the environment.
Gotta value yourself. So wait, what's next for Germ then?
I mean, right now I guess I don't know. Like,
well, yeah,
and I talked to you.
You're working on
this, right?
Yeah.
Where it's either I go back into normal everyday job like the ones I have, or I try to find something. It would be marketing because that's a super open, like anybody can do it, high school degree. And I have avoided marketing
insults
jobs.
Every person in a marketing company.
It's true.
It's
Is it
true.
not true?
It's true.
It's
no,
true.
It's true. 100%.
Literally, I have friends who went to school for political.
You don't have to finish elementary school if you want to go into marketing. Like, you could just be like,
you could just do it.
Yeah, you could be raised by wolves and still go into marketing.
Like, I've been putting off going into a marketing job because I know I could do it. Like, I know I could do it because my friends have told me, like, move to the city and just come work at this marketing place I work at. I'm like, no, like, I'm not gonna do that, right? But I'm now, that's what I'm like trying to figure out. Like, do I just suck it and go work at one of these places?
Yeah, absolutely. Because you know what marketing jobs do? They open doors to jobs that aren't marketing jobs. Yeah, and that's how you get out of marketing and into a nice corporate without having to finish any formal education. Because you have experience at this. Oh, that's very nice. Wow. And it's literally about, again, it goes back to that whole, they just look at the resume and they don't look at the portfolio. Portfolio doesn't matter. It's about the names on the resume. But you're also pursuing video editing more now that you have all this free time, and I think that's pretty neat. Watching tutorials and like, taking the time to not waste the time that you have, like, to treat the precious time that you have with, treat it as valuable as it is.
Fortunately, because I have the luxury to do that because of a little bit saved. And then
it's weird to say time is a luxury, and I feel like for a lot of our listeners who might still be like young or living at home or like in school, respect the time that you have while you still have it, while you don't have to worry about selling your time in order to pay your bills, because at a certain point you don't have a choice about that time. Like, you can spend your time however if I don't want to work a job, I can go spend plenty of time living under a bridge if I want to. I don't want to live under a bridge. You know what I mean?
Right. So it's all about your own.
It's like you don't really have a choice, but if you're still at that stage in your life where you have a choice, take that time and make the most of it. I mean, I would say, go and enjoy your life, but if you can like learn a new language or learn like teach yourself a skill, or like do something. Do something that you will so that you don't regret having not done that thing when you're older. Because when you're older, or when you get into that point in your life where you have responsibilities and you have bills you have to pay, there's still free time. Like, but in that free time, you don't want oh, cool, I got for this weekend I'm gonna go take a Spanish course. Like, fuck off. I ain't doing that. Well, I'm gonna play video games.
What would be for both of us, I guess, what would be our best advice for like younger people who might just be going into the workforce? Like, what would be your best advice for them?
Don't get upset. That's like, don't overreact. It's when I was early on in my first full-time job, I was very confrontational, and I was like very hard-headed, and I was like that early in my time at college too. I would butt heads with the professors and stuff and be like, no, I think I'm right. I think I'm right. And if people would critique my work,
the professors,
obviously, if they'd critique my work, I'd be like, no, fuck you. I think this does look like this. And they're like, well, I don't think it's a good representation of that. And they're like, and I was like, well, you ready to put some money on it? And I took my wallet out and I put it on the desk. And he's like, and the teacher's like, go sit the fuck down.
Jesus Christ.
I was like, I bet you $100 right fucking now. I put my wallet on the desk. Everyone in the class is staring. It was good. I did good. It was good. But, and I know this doesn't apply to all industries, but
yeah,
you have to, there is a point, silent killer is a thing, okay? And you can be very powerful by being very quiet, okay? But speak up when it's important. When no one else has a solution to a problem, but you have a solution, speak up. Make yourself known. When you don't like that your company is forcing everybody to go back to the office instead of working from home, do what I did. Be the only person in an 80-person department who raises their hand and asks why. Do it. Be that person, because you're gonna go somewhere. I hope my advice is right, so I hope I go somewhere. I hope that somewhere isn't unemployed for being like obnoxious about the work from home. But like, don't just be a pushover, but also
don't take things for what they are.
Know the difference between somebody pushing you around and somebody giving you an opportunity to be better by telling you what you're doing wrong right now. Very, very early on, a lot of people think they know everything, and you don't. You don't know everything. I promise you don't know everything. Because I didn't know everything, and Germ sure as fuck didn't know everything, and we still don't know everything. True. So, being able to acknowledge that you have a lot still left to learn at every point in your life is like a huge thing. That's a big step for a lot of people. And there are people who are in their 40s who still haven't figured that out. So don't be them.
But it's never too late to start, by the way. Like,
start what?
Anything. A new job, a new
absolutely
project,
if there's something you want to go for, jump. Like, don't be afraid to make that leap. Like, I was gonna say jump, but I feel like that's a little
don't
a little too don't jump. Don't jump. Don't do it.
Don't.
You have so much worth living for. No, but yeah, don't be afraid to like this Germ losing his job is a temporary thing, and it's not a bad thing, because now Germ has ultimate possibilities, endless possibilities, total freedom to go in any direction he wants. I know that's for some people that like may not be in that same position. You might be like, well, if I don't pay rent tomorrow, I'm gonna be homeless. Okay,
yeah, I guess
it's a little bit different, but if you
find
yourself in that position, yeah,
right. Like, I live with my parents still, so I'm lucky enough that right now, anyway, I have some leeway, because I still have to give my dad rent. Like, I pay rent here. I've paid rent since I was like started paying rent, because I didn't start working until I was 18. But yeah, I still pay rent. We paid for me and my brothers, like, we pay for our own food. But obviously, it's a weight off of my shoulders knowing if I don't give my dad the rent for a little bit, he's not gonna like kick me out of the house. He's not gonna
kick his own son out on the street and be like completely insensitive about it. He's just gonna start getting upset with you for not getting a job yet.
I mean, I do stuff here anyway, like I help. So
yeah, like, and you cook, and he likes when you cook. So I mean, the best way to a man's heart is through his stomach, and for your dad and you,
but
that seems to be the strongest your relationship is over food.
You too. What do you mean, me too?
What do you mean?
Spore literally has Spore's his own key to his heart, because he cooks for himself. He's like, this is the best thing Italian hand. This is the best thing anyone has ever cooked. Like, this man.
It's true though.
Is seducing himself.
You're just outing me.
It's true though.
It's true though. I am better than Gordon Ramsay, so at least I can make a goddamn grilled cheese.
But
no, I think it's exciting to see where you're gonna go, and I think that the opportunity you have is, I mean, that's what it is. It's exciting. It's like, at any point, for even myself included, like I have money saved up trying to get a house, right? Like if I lost my job tomorrow, it's not the end of the world. I could pay rent for a couple months. It's, again, you can't look at it as like, oh my God, what am I going to do? You have to look at it as in, all right, what's next? That's how you look at this stuff.
I think Ford gave really good advice. But my advice would be to people who aren't necessarily like going professional jobs, like you're just going into fast food or something, right? Like first jobs. Do not let yourself be exploited because
Absolutely.
They will.
Please.
Like,
and if you put that burger together and I order a double and you give me a single, I will contact the Wendy's support Twitter.
That's another thing. If you're working at these jobs, like if you're getting treated nicely, if you're being paid a decent, the best that you absolutely can. Like,
absolutely, always should.
That doesn't mean people should yell at you or anything, but I see when I was
take
working
pride in what you do.
Exactly. When I was at Boston Market, I worked with a lot of kids. I never did more than I had to there, but I also did the stuff that I had to do very well because people eat off of that. Like I had to clean the chicken spits, the thing. But
food is a responsibility.
Yeah, it really is.
You're literally giving, like, every time you order a burger at like McDonald's, that the people in the back, you are putting your life in their hands.
Well,
they could poison the burger and kill you.
Just do what you have to, do it well, but don't do more than you have to. My brother kept taking jobs there because people kept quitting because they were lazy, and
at Boston Market.
I would tell him every day, I'm like, you realize that what you're doing is the next person who comes in here is now going to have 3 different jobs because of, like, you're in the kitchen, you're cleaning front of house, and you're facing the store. Why is that fair to whoever comes in after? Because guaranteed from now on, anyone who took that job was going to have all 3 of those jobs to do, even though his job
you're setting a standard.
Literally, like his job was to cook the food, and he was doing all this extra stuff because those other kids didn't want to do it, and they just would leave at 10 p.m. and not stay the extra hour to clean. Like, don't do more than you have to. Don't let people push you around for that stuff. Stand up for yourself, because if they want to fire you for that kind of thing, at the end of the day, like, that's on them, and it's better for you to just go find a different.
100%. Because in a good company, if that stuff does happen and you do stand up for yourself, a good company, good management will take notice and realize their mistake, and they will be apologetic. And that has happened in my case 1 or 2 times.
Yeah.
So, it's if they're not apologetic, they're like, well, go fuck yourself. They could be like, bye.
And you don't screw over other people. Like, that's the most important thing. You're not screwing over your fellow worker. Because I understand people who want to kiss ass and like be better than everyone, but you're just fucking yourself and literally everyone else who works there.
Definitely don't throw your coworkers under the bus. Like that's a good one. That's a really good piece of advice.
This isn't like a career job. This is just like you're working at an everyday, like, and not to say obviously that people who are in these jobs aren't career worthy, but obviously nobody's like, my ambition is to work at a Ross and be the manager. Like, it just happens sometimes. Or most of the time.
Just crushed that one person.
Why would you do that? I'm sorry to Ross
always
manager
wanted to work
number 8
at a Ross Dress for Less. Because at Ross Dress for Less, they have shoes that would fit Shaq's feet.
I'm just saying, like, your job is valuable, but don't overvalue it by just having a million things that you took away from other people to impress someone. Like, horrible.
Definitely. All right, one last question to close out the episode. Did you ever just take home all the extra cornbread? I gotta know.
Yes, and I don't know if this is this. Did I get arrested if I say that I took a bunch of forks from? Because I
metal
did do
ones.
That. Yeah, like I was the dishwasher. I was the dishwasher.
That's all right. I once stole chopsticks from PF Chang's, so it's fine.
Wait, are PF Chang's chopsticks not like disposable?
Their employees are not allowed to tell you no. It's a company policy. So I said, "Can I take these chopsticks?" And they said, "Well, I'm not allowed to tell you no." And I said, "Okay, bye."
That's so uncomfortable.
I said, "See ya, sucker." And I took the chopsticks.
I would have been like,
I was
well,
gonna take the
mean,
plate, but my the people I was with were starting to get uncomfortable, so I was like, all right, I won't just rob them blind. Me just holding up the PF Chang, just get the tablecloth. I'm taking this all. Are you okay with that? And they're like, I can't say no. All right,
like,
see ya.
well, technically, it's like, oh, you're stuffing it already into a backpack.
Yeah, I'm already like, the car's already pulled up. I'm just putting it in the trunk. I gotta go.
I gotta
The
go,
meter's
man.
running. Meter's running. Gas is expensive. I gotta go. All right, see ya. This is really nice place, by the way. Thank you so much.
Oh my god.
This was fun though. We had a good talk. This is a good talk about
Good time.
getting it all out there. You know, just kind of talking about what we've been going through and what it's like right now.
Not gonna
We'll
talk
keep you
about
guys posted when Germ finds new employment or whatever he decides to do. So everybody knows
join the Discord if you want to.
100% join the Discord, and make sure you leave a like on this video. And also, if you comment, it helps the YouTube algorithm. That's the only thing the algorithm cares about. Watch time and whether or not you comment on the video.
Make this the most disliked video.
No, don't do that. Don't
Do that. If you do that for me, I'll find work. Can I leave that burp in?
100%. If you don't leave the burp in, I will never record another episode with you. It's over right there, because clearly your creative decision-making skills have gone down the drain. They're down the toilet.
Guys, thank you so much for listening or watching if you're watching on YouTube.
Absolutely. Thank you guys.
Appreciate it a lot.
And we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.